Welcome to a horror review Sunday. Let's talk about Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse. Pay to get in, pray to get out. This was a first time viewing, and boy did I have a blast with this one. This has a shockingly good score. I was not expecting this to have, over 60%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes and like a 6 on IMDb. This is a cult classic that seems to be loved even by some critics. And although there are people that don't like this movie, I've heard people say it's boring. And that's why I stayed away for a long time. It's because mainly I heard, that it was boring, pacing issues, and just bad characters. Now I agree with some of that, but not all of it. I actually was surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. And the reason why I watched it and finally pulled the trigger and bought the Blu-ray by Shout Factory, which is amazing, great transfer, is because I am currently watching movies from the year 1981 for my top 10 1981 horror ranking that I will be doing at some point. I'm not sure when this video will upload, so maybe that video is already out by now, because I record all my reviews ahead of time, so who knows what day it is when this is released. It's a Sunday, but I don't know which Sunday it's going to be, so yeah, I really like this one, so let's get into it. Plot synopsis, very simple story. It's like a double date. These two couples, they go to a carnival, there's a fun house, and they get high, and they're like, I think it would be fun if we just break into this fun house and spend the night here. It would be cool. One of my friends did it before, they said, and we're going to do it too. And then they witness a murder, and then they have to try to escape the fun house that's filled with a monster, a crazy father, just a crazy family. It's kind of like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a crazy family movie. I wouldn't say this is a slasher. I would say it's more of a crazy family genre, not drama. I don't know why I was saying that. This is that genre to me. Slashers to me are mainly just one person. This has a couple of people. So, yeah, I liked a lot about this movie. Let's go into my positives, the things that I really liked about this movie. I love the way this movie opens. Like, as soon as it opened up, I was like, I think I'm going to love this movie. Because I just love the creepy opening credits, the music. The score overall is fantastic. Like, this is a bigger production, like, sound, like, quality score to it. Like, this is a professional at work here. This isn't no cheaply put together score. It's got a carnival sound to it, which makes total sense. And I love the way it sounds. And just when it's playing over the opening credits and you get like all these slide transitions with like the creepy mannequins and dolls and stuff like that popping up, I was like, this movie rocks already in the opening. And already talked about the transfer. This is a fantastic transfer. All the colors pop. Lots of colorful lighting inside the fun house, and I'm just a sucker for that stuff. I really like the setting for this movie. That's what I'm starting to learn about myself, is that I really like carnival settings. Like the end of Child's Play 3, like that third act is basically this entire movie. It's at a carnival. It looks just like that carnival, except even more packed. There's a lot of people here, a lot of extras. It doesn't feel like a small budget film. I don't think the budget was that big for this movie, but whatever it was, they utilized it pretty good. The sets didn't really seem all that cheap to me. Just the atmosphere of the carnival, I loved it. It sucked me into the movie. I was never bored because I was just loving everything on screen. Another thing I really appreciate about this movie is the fact that the final girl is the only one that we see naked, and we see her naked in the opening. She's taking a shower, she exposes her breast, not once, but twice in this movie. She's the only one. She's like the virgin, and she's trying to basically get laid throughout the movie with her dick of a boyfriend, and that's just different. You don't see that. You don't see the final girl being the one like trying to get laid, and she's exposing her breast multiple times. You never see that. So I love how different that is. And some people don't really like the look of the freak, but I like it. It's not real looking at all. It kind of looks like a mask, but I just like the look. It's creepy. He's got red eyes. He's got like, Dracula's teeth. He's got like a weird nose, like a dent in his face. He almost looks like an albino hatchet face. He's got the white crazy hair. I like the look. I like his scream. It's very unsettling. And I thought the movie flowed pretty well. Like, some people, I'm baffled by how boring people say this movie is. I don't know why it didn't drag for me, but It didn't. I'm being honest. It just, I don't want to say it's fast, and I don't think it's slow. It's right in the middle. It's an average pace to me. I wasn't bored. Now, as for like dislikes, the characters are very shallow, just stoners. These two couples are all very much the same. They kind of blend together. I can't tell them apart. There's just, this couple, that couple, they're all the same to me. There's nothing that stands out about them. So that is the weakest part of the movie to me, is just the characters. They don't shine. They're not funny to me. They're not really all that entertaining. The one boyfriend's kind of a dick, but you just got the one couple that's kind of has a little bit of drama going on, and they're kind of starting to make up, and then the other couple, they're fine. They're not fighting or bickering. They're just whatever. Like, there's not a whole lot going on with these characters. They're just getting high. They have a stupid idea. They want to go in the funhouse, and that's it. Like, there's not a whole lot of character setup. And I do think that this movie, although I said the pace was okay, I do think that there's some padding the runtime, just some things that could have been taken out to shorten the runtime, things that just weren't necessary. Like, there's a lot of cutting back to the brother who's sneaking around trying to catch his sister doing something that she shouldn't be doing, and that was just kind of unnecessary to cut back to him as many times as they did. And by the end of it goes like really nowhere. The brother subplot going on, like, it really amounts to nothing. I feel like you could just take all that out. And I do think they, show a lot more of the carnival than they need to. Like, they just keep showing the characters go to this attraction, to that attraction, to this attraction. And while I enjoyed some of them, you could have taken like one of those attractions out, again, to kind of shorten the runtime, so maybe some other people would be less bored. Like the whole Flad guy who like stabs the girl in the coffin, like that scene could have been taken out. So yeah, there is some padding the runtime, I think, in this movie. So, but it didn't hurt the film to me. And unfortunately, the kills are just kind of lackluster. I did like one of them, but that's it. And it wasn't like gory or anything. There's no gore in this film. It's 1981. I mean, this is after Friday the 13th. There should have been some gore in here, but there's not. So that's a shame. And the end fight, when we get to the final chase, I just felt it was a tad underwhelming, the way the villain is ultimately defeated. It was fine, but I just feel like there could have been more there. So final thoughts, this is a movie that I really enjoy. I can't say that it's boring like other people. I enjoyed the movie overall. The characters were lacking, though, in the kills. But everything outside of that, every other aspect, the way it's shot, it's a very well shot and put together film. It's got a decent production value to it. The setting, the set designs, the atmosphere, the lighting, just the look of the film, the score. I really dug the hell out of this movie. This was a first time viewing. Maybe it'll go down on a second viewing, because that's happened. Sometimes I watch a movie a second time and I like it more, or I like it less. But as of this viewing, my first viewing, I can't say that this is a bad movie at all. I don't get the hate for it from some people. So I have to say, when it comes to the Funhouse, give it a shot, go out and buy it. Time for a spoiler discussion. So we get this like Halloween psycho homage here, where we see like the POV through the mask, kind of like, the opening of Halloween, and it's a kid killing his sister, but not really, because it's a fake knife, and for some reason, like, she's having a hard time pushing her brother away from her, even though he's half her size. And for some reason, she doesn't realize that it's a fake knife that's been stabbing her until, like, the 6th stab. It's like he's already pretend stabbed her 5 times, and she hasn't realized yet that it's a fake rubber knife. That whole scene is just silly as fuck. And there's little things like that sprinkled throughout. Like the guy with the shotgun. Like, the kid is, like, hitchhiking to the carnival, and some random guy pulls up like, "You want to lift?" And he's like, "No, I'm fine." And then he just gets the shotgun out, like, and then just starts laughing his ass off, like he just is so entertained by the fact that he just scared the shit out of a little kid with a shotgun. And so right away, you know that her boyfriend Buzz is a dick, because he doesn't walk up to the door to pick up his date. He just blares his horn outside the house like a dozen times, and the parents have no problem with that. I would. So, and I love how this place is booming, even though the Funhouse there has a huge scandal in their history, because the father is talking about how there was murders at this Funhouse in a different state, but it's the same Funhouse they know that's at this carnival. It's like a moving Funhouse that goes state to state, but they know that the one in like Tennessee is the one that's where they're at, but somehow no one else knows about it. Like, this place is booming. Like, if any place had that type of scandal behind it, like people were murdered and they think that Funhouse people did it or something, like, I think that would hurt your business, but not in this case. They are booming. They're making a lot of money. There's a lot of people there. And even though they have all kinds of customers and they're probably getting a lot of revenue, a lot of money in there, they aren't spending their money well because the bathrooms at this place are very run down. They're disgusting. They might as well just have porta potties there. And then we meet Crazy Ralph's wife. If Crazy Ralph had a wife, this would be the chick in this movie who's constantly saying, "God's watching you." And yeah, then the whole random guy with the shotgun threatening the kid. What the hell is up with that scene? And then we get the whole Flad show where he puts the girl in the coffin, he pretend kills her, and you know it's all a show. I mean, how many times have we seen that?
Oh my God! Is there a doctor in the house? Right! Ladies and gentlemen, my charming daughter, Carmela.
And then, something that you would never see at a family-friendly carnival ever nowadays, especially, is the whole, like, peep show thing. Like, they have, like, this, tent that says girls, girls, girls on it, and inside there's, like, cougars, like, flashing their breast. And one of them, I must say, had a surprisingly good rack for, like, a 55, 60-year-old woman. She looked pretty old, but she was rocking. So yeah, then they decide to sneak into the Funhouse, and that I mentioned those creepy-ass animals, those were disgusting looking. So yeah, the brother's watching, and that goes nowhere. So the monster in this movie pays $100 for a hand job, and he comes in like 3 seconds on the fortune teller's hands. Read those palms now, the jizz hands. But yeah, then he gets so mad that he paid $100 for a quick hand job, and he like electrocutes her and then like starts strangling her. And he doesn't get electrocuted this time around. He does later, but the reason why he doesn't get electrocuted this time around is because he's wearing rubber gloves. So it's not like Halloween 6 where you're like, how come he's not being electrocuted? And so then after that, they witness the murder. They're upstairs and they're hearing them talk below. They're gonna cover up the murder, blame it on the locals, and then they find out that the money's missing because one of the jackasses upstairs stole the money. And then this is when we get the face reveal. He rips off the Frankenstein mask to reveal an even more hideous monster underneath the mask. And he's screaming. He's got like jizz drool coming out of his mouth. And at one point it's even like coming out of the Frankenstein mask because he's just drooling so much. And then the first member of this group gets killed. Richie, he gets hung, and it's like a slow-mo shot. And I like this kill because it came out of nowhere. It wasn't expected. The rope just comes in, hangs him up, and then like his body is on one of the carts that comes by, and they think it's like the bad guy. And we've seen this in a lot of movies, but I like it here because it's just brutal. Like, he's already dead, he's been hung, and now he has an axe in his head from Buzz. He accidentally axed his friend right in the head, and he hits it in his head so hard that he can't like get it back out. And so like his weapon is being carted away. And then the girlfriend's like going into hysterics, and she like falls in a trap door. She's in like this tunnel, and just that whole scene I really like. It's very intense. You see, it's terrifying. Like, you see the monster at the end of the tunnel like walking towards her slowly, just like a shadowy figure walking towards her, and she's like begging for her life, saying that she'll like have sex with him and not charge him like the other lady. I thought all that stuff was like terrifying but funny too. And then she stabs his back literally. And the kill was lame. Like, it was a golden opportunity right there to just push her into the fan. Like, there was no cover. He could have just pushed her body into the fan. We could have like a Child's Play 3 fan kill. But instead, he like claws at her face a couple of times off camera. We see her body later on. That's lame stuff. Like, you had the perfect moment right there for a kill. And then we get like this quick like confrontation, this little fight between the father and Buzz. And despite how strong Buzz was earlier, doing the whole like sledgehammer game that he won, he's not really putting up that much of a fight that I expected, but he does win. He pushes the guy into the sword, and then like he like tries to pull him into the sword as well, kind of like in Jason Goes to Hell. So after that happens, like he shoots the guy all 6 rounds into the father, and then the monster comes and starts attacking him, and we hear the gun clicking, like click, click, click multiple times, and then it cuts to the final girl in the other room, and we hear a gunshot go off. How did he have time to like reload 1 bullet? Like what happened? Like he was completely empty, and then he had 1 more bullet. That made no sense to me. I don't understand what happened there. He could have reloaded it for all I know, but I don't think he had ammunition on him. That wasn't really his gun. I think he stole that gun. Yeah, he did. I don't know. Whatever. So then I love this scene. Like the clown statue, like the doors open and the clown statue like holding Buzz's body comes out and like basically like delivering her boyfriend to her. You know, she's on the other side, and like this statue's basically just like, here's your boyfriend. He's dead. I don't know what he did to him. Like he had the wound in his stomach that was from the sword, but what did the monster do to him? How did he die? I don't get that death. Like, did he snap his neck? Did he shoot him in the same spot that he was stabbed? I don't know. So then after that, she goes into the engine room. She's like where all the gears are that are working the Funhouse, and it's fine. This whole final confrontation, it could have been better. There could have been more of a struggle here, more tension. I like when he's like bursting through the door first to get to her, but he just quickly gets electrocuted. Like he goes to swing the crowbar back, and then he gets electrocuted. Karma, because he electrocuted the other girl earlier, which kind of started this whole mess. And then like that's not enough. He's still alive. He gets like pushed onto like the meat hook, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then he gets pushed into like the gears, and this could have been a lot more bloody. Again, a bit of a missed opportunity here to make it a little bit more gory. Like that thing it should have like broke him in half. We should have seen like a little bit more aftermath there, but instead it's just going more for like style and like atmosphere, all the electricity going off, like the strobe lights. Like I like the way the scene looks, but I just feel like there could have been more there gore-wise. Like that should have been a better death of your villain. But it's alright. It could have been better though. And so yeah, then she just walks out, and we get the creepy like animatronic sign that's moving and laughing, and it starts to get like deeper, the laugh. Thought that was cool. And it has like a Child's Play 3 ending, like the crane shot going up in the sky, and the whole like amusement park or carnival is like empty, people are cleaning up. It ends the same exact way as Child's Play 3. It's just morning instead of night. So yep, that's the end of the movie. Absolutely enjoyed it. The Hockey Mask Award for best character in this movie is the monster. I don't usually pick villains. I try to go for protagonists, but in this case there is no good protagonist character that I gravitated towards or liked or cared about, so I have to pick the monster. And the Hanky Award for worst character in this movie is Buzz, the dick boyfriend, who not only honks for his dates but also wipes his own blood on his best friend. What a dick. And the Clap Award for best scene in this movie will go to the death of Richie and just his friend axing him in the face on accident, the girl falling through the trapdoor, everything leading up to that scene, just all that stuff in the Funhouse. I really enjoy a lot of scenes in this movie, so it's kind of hard to pick one, but I'll go with that scene. And the hottest chick in this movie will be Liz, the girlfriend of Richie. And the Mr. Hat Award for best kill in this movie will go to Richie, who is hung out of nowhere and then later gets axed on accident by his friend. And the Mr. Twig Award for lamest kill will go to Buzz. He's the character I wanted to see meet a grisly demise, but he dies off camera, and I'm not even entirely sure how he died. And those are my thoughts on the Funhouse. What did you think about this Tobe Hooper classic, Tobe Hooper classic? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.